来了来了，喷水了，喷酱油了。过去拍，过去拍，过去拍。哦。飞走，一水喷。飞走，一水喷，自己喷到自己了。自己喷到自己了。
What do you think about your neighbor if you know like what he did?
Yeah, well, we didn't even realise we've been living here for over a year now and had no clue about it, and it's a bit
Never talk like this way.
It's a bit sad, to be honest. Like, you know, this is Australia.
Yes.
We've got many different cultures and people from different countries here, so
Mm-hmm.
you know, you can't be doing that.
Yes.
Around here and reporting back to and threatening people's families. That's not Australian. So
that's what I say.
You know,
yes.
You shouldn't have to put up with that.
Very high class. Very high class camera.
Yeah, that's no good.
Yeah, and do you have any idea about the truth of the virus or any like vulture you ever seen or like Dr. Yen?
I haven't heard about her personally, but to be honest, we were talking about it the other day, and we don't think it came from bats or anything like that. We know it's happened elsewhere,
and
it's been covered up. But
yes,
it's just a shame people like this are helping with that cause and not fighting against it like you guys. So
yeah, because like they have like all the money under the table.
Yeah.
So actually they like pay or something like that, and we got like full evidence. We are not like defaming people. Yes, really thank you for the interview. Like we just know the truth, want to tell the truth about the world. And do you have any one thing to say to Australian people and the Chinese people want to Australian safe and all the things? We are new federal of China. Do you want to say something to us or say something to us and Australian people?
Oh, definitely get around the cause, guys. Like you can't have someone reporting back to China and giving names of the people that are standing against what they're doing there and threatening families and putting families in jail. It's not Australian, and we shouldn't deal with that. And this virus is hard enough as it is now, and a lot of families are suffering because of it. And you've got people like him that are, reporting back to the parties about it. Like, yeah, it's not on.
Yeah, really good, mate. We have like 25,000 people online watching you, and all the people say a fan of you. Like say your interview is really good. You're a good Aussie. Yeah, thank you very much, mate. Have a good day.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you.
Thank you. What are you doing?
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
You saw her? Do you want? Do you know?
God bless you.
Protesting for? Thank you.
We don't.
You don't see we're doing it and you try to come to support us?
Yeah, it's been in the news for a few days, so we thought you guys might be thirsty. So we brought water. Yeah.
I'm fine, thank you.
I don't know.
You do not.
Where
do you live?
I live here.
Oh, you live here? So you're in Finland?
Yeah.
Can I ask, what are your thoughts on what we're doing?
I have no idea what you're doing.
So, let me tell you what we're doing. We're from your phone when you start. Sure. 不要追追，不要追追，不要追，不要追，不要追。
British lawmakers said on Thursday they had clear evidence that Huawei had colluded with China and that Britain may need to remove equipment earlier than planned. The Defence Committee accused the telecoms giant of collusion with, quote, the Chinese Communist Party apparatus, but did not provide details. Tobias Elwood, chairman of the committee, said, the West must urgently unite to advance a counterweight to China's tech dominance. We must not surrender our national security for the sake of short-term technological development.
U.S. President Donald Trump, diagnosed with COVID-19 10 days ago, is apparently now symptom-free and almost ready to resume his public appearances. In a brief memorandum Thursday, White House physician Sean Conley said Trump has completed his course of therapy and should be ready for public engagements by Saturday. He explained that the president's physical exam remained stable and the treatment has had no adverse effects.
In the meantime, while you were watching the debate last night, guess what was happening in China? Chinese state-run media appeared to censor some of Mike Pence's comments about COVID. Benjamin Hall reports on that live in London today. What happened, Ben?
Bill, Vice President Pence was very clear on China last night. He pulled no punches, and particularly when it came to the coronavirus, he pointed the finger firmly at China and at the Communist Party there. But viewers in China will not have seen that. Their feed was cut. Here, take a look at one of the clips before it was censored.
China is to blame for the coronavirus. And President Trump is not happy about it. He's made that very clear, made it clear again today. China and the World Health Organization did not play straight with the American people.
But that never made air. Instead, all viewers in China saw were color bars along with the message, "No signal, please stand by." That interruption, which cut the debate out for nearly 3 critical minutes, that in China, the Communist Party alone control the narrative. There is no free speech, there are no debates, and they do not tolerate criticism. In fact, criticism leads to imprisonment. And the Trump administration has been very vocal about these kinds of violation. But there is no doubt that whoever wins the White House in November will have China at the very top of their foreign policy agenda.
The U.S. Department of Homeland Security has concluded its first ever Homeland Threat Assessment, a comprehensive report designed to educate the public on the largest threats facing the country. The report highlights major threats posed by China and Russia and identifies white supremacists as posing the most persistent and lethal threat of all domestic violent extremist groups. Let's take a look at the major takeaways from the report. When it comes to China, the report warned that the country already poses a high cyber espionage threat to the homeland and that Beijing's cyber attack capabilities will grow. It also said China has been a particularly persistent source of counterfeit medical supplies during the coronavirus pandemic.
Dr. Yan, thank you so much for joining us here today as this new report comes out. It is the lead story over at the National Pulse, and the 33 pages I found reading it through this morning. Of course, I'm not a scientist. There's a lot of heavy science in there, but it's extraordinarily detailed. I want to get into some of that with you. I know it takes a long time to go through it and explain a lot of this stuff, but if you could give us an overview of how you arrived at this conclusion, because the conclusion, Dr. Yan, is pretty explosive: an unrestricted bioweapon.
Hi, Rahim. Hi, everyone. Thank you. So first, I want to introduce this concept, unrestricted bioweapon, because the impact of SARS-CoV-2 to the whole world is far beyond the traditional concept of bioweapon from the China AMMS, which is the China Academy of the Military Medical Science. So basically, from my second report, first I go through those novel SARS-CoV-2-like coronavirus, which was found by the Chinese scientists and also their colleagues after the outbreak of SARS-CoV-2 this year, to support their nature origin theory. And also it was a fundamental evidence for the whole scientific world and for WHO, for Chinese Communist Party, to support their nature origin theory, and also try to ruin the lab origin theory and my reputation. And after revealing all these lies, all the fabricated virus come from China, you will see that actually nothing can support the nature theory of SARS-CoV-2. And instead, the lab origin theory show you that within 6 months, just need the backbone from China military using the Zhoushan bat coronavirus, they can make the SARS-CoV-2 in their lab. And also, this is a large-scale organized fabrication, involve the scientific world, the peer-reviewed journals, the scientists like the Robert Gallo or Nancy Cornell. All these people, they supported, they help to cover up, they help to make up lies, and help Chinese Communist Party. So I will give more response later, point to point. But finally, I want to stress to people that since this is a bioweapon and it is a modern bioweapon in an unrestricted way, so you have to understand now you are suffering the unrestricted bio war, which is attacking all over the world.
Hey, Dr. Yan, it's Jack Maxey. I know this is some pretty thick stuff. You and I have talked about it a lot. You've really convinced me of the idea that this is a manipulated virus for sure. And I think last week, remember, you and I tried to idiot-proof this for another individual who will remain unnamed. And I think we came up with a pretty good 3 items that would make this easy for people to understand. 3 simple explanations that point to a lab origin. And obviously, if you will go through Dr. Yan's paper, you will actually see, if you're scientifically minded, if you are scientifically literate, you'll have a much better understanding. But I think there are 3 key things to remember. There's still no identified animal host, right? And the whole world has been looking for this. Certainly the Communist Chinese Party has been looking for it. It's not a bat. It's not a pangolin. The virus at emergence was perfectly adapted to the human body. Also, it not only attacks the lungs, as one might expect from a zoonotic respiratory disease, but the virus also affects every single cell in the body and was perfectly adapted for that purpose. Number 3, from the beginning, the CCP has lied about their knowledge of the virus. They lied about the human-to-human transmission, and to this very day, they continue to refuse to allow the World Health Organization to come in and inspect the laboratory in Wuhan. These are basic concepts. I mean, Dr. Yan will go into a very detailed scientific rationale, which will just reinforce these concepts. But it's clear that they've lied from day one.
Let me ask Dr. Yan a question. Dr. Yan, now that you're in the West, why do you think it's this hesitancy? You saw the debate last night. Why do you think, and I'm not trying to get you out of your scientific lane, but in the science community, why does it take Dr. Li Minyan, as brilliant you are, as dedicated, why does it take you in October, 10 months into this, why does it take you to put this report on a bioweapon when I would think that this thing could have been written by other people on top of it, maybe in, I'm throwing out a random month, like February, right? Is there anything we found out? So, Dr. Yan, why is the scientific community, and why are you not on the cover of Lancet? Why are you not in New England Journal of Medicine? Why are you not everywhere? What is it about the scientific community that's data-based, evidence-based, and science-based? What is the common man out here missing?
Because they need the benefits from Chinese Communist Party and also the affair of Chinese Communist Party. I mean those people who collaborated with them and also cover up, make up lies, and attack the lab origin theory and still support the nature origin theory and other lies, other misinformation. These people, as I list, from now on, I will keep list those people who jump out and use lies and misinformation to attack my report. I welcome open fire debate and in a live way, but not this kind of very mean method. I mean, this is not for me. This is not for politics. This is a real fact about COVID-19 and SARS-CoV-2, which involve the global health. Everyone deserves the truth. If you thought you know the things, welcome. We can have open discussion. But if you still want to attack me, like the National Geographic, like New York Times, some articles, I mean, and also like they published in the MIT press done by the HIV, the biggest expert, Roberto Gallo, and also Johns Hopkins University, the bioweapon expert, Nancy Cornell. Come on, let's see who is on the side of the fact. I'm not fair of Chinese Communist Party. I won't be fair of you too. I mean, I stand with the truth, with the fact. I will fight for that.
Dr. Yan, do you anticipate, you know, you started a Twitter account, you had 59,000 followers, you're on fire, and then Tucker had you on his first, when you were on the first time, it was going crazy on Facebook. Do you anticipate putting out your bioweapons report today that social media, and particularly Twitter and these people, will be yanking this down and making it more difficult to get your writings out there to a broader audience?
Sorry, so can you explain again?
Well, do you think that Twitter? You think Twitter will shut you down so that more people can't read this report? Will they help you drive access to this report, or do you think they'll suppress it?
I didn't notice Twitter much today since I published it, but actually I see some people at me said the like or the retweet number was changed by Twitter. I don't know. I think they have some evidence, maybe can confirm later. But anyway, my full text report also can be found from Fernando, from my ResearchGate profile, and people can go there to search it. It's open for free.
所以走到前线的战友们，等有一天你明白你做的事情有多有意义的时候，你就会为你自己，你亲你自己的脸。今天德州和昨天前天战友做的事情，这将记在中国人正义的历史上，新中国联邦的历史上，因为他让美国和西方永远的记载那个镜头。美国被收买后，美国的警察竟干这样的办案，碰瓷儿、威胁。 手机干扰，抓紧手铐子，竟然因过马路被逮捕，过马路被逮捕，8支来福枪，10个红脖子，天天尾随他不抓，天下岂有此理呀？这就是我们战友依法接了贼呀，让世界看清楚。如果美国一个米兰市有个巴布夫，就能搞成美国这样，美国要有1000个巴布夫。 我们战友还能活得了吗？战友，你要么当这些人的奴才，你要么被他双休，你要么就这样就跟他反抗到底。战友们，一切事情都要依法，坚定，绝不放弃，绝不妥协。这就是我今天说的。我今天干了很多事情，刚才这跟律师刚开会，我们要跟他的战场，在法官，在法院，在国会，在国务院。 在 FBI， 我们要所有的部门，国土安全部，还有这个都要让他们知道到底我们是否是恐怖分子还是和平抗议，我们到底是让美国更安全， 还是让美国更危险？到底是警察滥用执法，米兰市长说我们是恐怖分子，我们一定会让他给我们一个说法。
白宫文件称，川普总统可以从周六起开始他的公共活动。CDC 预测到本月月底，美国 CCP 病毒死亡人数将攀升至23万3000人。英国和意大利的感染病例正在上升。香港官员称，他们在研究强制性病毒测试的法律框架。皮尤调查显示，许多国家对中国的负面看法飙升至历史新高。卡塔尔航空公司首席执行官警告称，需要更多的救助计划，否则航空业将崩溃。美国上周首次申请失业救济的人数上升至84万人，超过了82万5千人的预估。川普总统警告，拜登的税收计划将使美国经济陷入萧条。